Welcome to another Inside Music Row. Today we'll celebrate a #1 hit with Brett Eldredge. We'll also get redneck crazy with Tyler Farr at his album release party. Finally, we'll visit the new permanent home of the Musicians Hall of Fame here in Nashville. All this and more coming up Inside Music Row. Hey there, I'm Bailey, and I'm so glad you joined us for another Inside Music Row. We've got a great show today, so let's get started. Sara Evans is back on the radio again with Slow Me Down, which became her biggest first-week ad ever at radio. This is the first single from her forthcoming 7th studio album, set for a release early next year. Sara's re-energized to finish that album now after returning from her first trip down under performing in Australia. Jason Sturgeon just released his latest album, Cornfields and Coal, and has partnered up with Boot Barn to help promote it. The project is available in more than 40 retail Boot Barn stores across the country, with special in-store performances and appearances planned for the coming months. Jason's first single off that album is a remake of the Jeff Healey classic, Angel Eyes. Steve Wariner is expressing himself in many different ways. In addition to his skills as a certified guitar picker, Steve is also an accomplished watercolor artist. The new Wariner's Watercolors exhibit opened last week at the Tennessee State Museum, which features 21 of his favorite paintings. The exhibit will remain open until the end of the year, and admission is free. Television networks are finding great material for programs here in Music City. Lifetime will begin airing the first of 9 episodes of the new Chasing Nashville program next week. The docu-series will follow several artists as they pursue recording contracts here in Nashville. Now it's time to go inside the song. In August of 1990, Joe Diffie released his debut album, 1,000 Winding Roads, which contained his first #1 hit, Home. We had a chance to sit down with Joe to see why he almost didn't even record that song.
I didn't write Home. It was Andy Spooner and Fred Leonard are the writers on that one, and that was one of those situations I almost didn't record it, and it turned out to be my first single. But I almost didn't record it because I was doing demos at the time. I did tons of demos, you know, and that was one that I had demoed, and so I kind of stuck it in the back pocket and, you know, just kind of held it for when I got my record deal and all that stuff. And so we, you know, went to this wild thing of listening to songs for a project, and my producer at the time, Johnny Slade, he said, "What about Home?" You know, because we had it for a long time, and I'd heard it over and over again. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's, you know. So he said, "Well, let's play it again, listen to it." So we put it in and played it, and tell you what, I got a tear in my eye and a lump in my throat. And I said, well, if it makes me do that, surely it'll make somebody else feel that way too. So thank goodness we went ahead and recorded it. It was my first #1 song.
My footsteps carry me away, but in my mind I'm always going home.
Fall is in the air, and those hot tours just keep on going. Let's take a quick peek at who's going where and when. It's time for our first quick little break, but before we go, we have a few copies of Redneck Crazy up for grabs from Tyler Farr. You'll see more from Tyler up ahead, but if you want to enter this week's drawing, just head on over to InsideMusicRow.com to get signed up. Now for that break, but we'll celebrate the very first #1 hit for one new artist when we come back. Don't go away.